the question should be, why should we regulate AI? AI has a very big problem. What I mean is AI has the capability of teaching itself. How about an AI that has the capability of producing things that have not been taught to? It will be very difficult and even think beyond the human conscious. You get education system right now having anything to do with AI. You get it? So it threatens the existence of humanity and
So stay tuned until the end. You'll learn. Any questions you have, leave them in the comment section. So sir, you're most welcome to AI in white coats. Yes, so introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hassan. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hassan. To those who don't know me, I'm a law student in my final year here at Marad University, and I'm so honored to be here in this platform.
Yes. So here we are going to talk about law, artificial intelligence, and technology. So what do you define artificial intelligence compared to law? So compare artificial intelligence and law and technology. How are those things contradict, or how are they united? How are they one?
Thank you so much. Law, actually, in order for us to regulate something or anything, first of all, you must first understand it in its depth, what it is and how it functions. AI is one of the things that are difficult to define, to an extent that even the AI engineers themselves, they have failed to come up with a single or unified definition. So the effect of this is that you see that most of the regulations that we have on board are actually all vague and ambiguous, and all are just satisfying the sake of regulating whatever they have on board. AI is a very diverse and dynamic issue. It changes depending on the circumstance and depending on the engineers and how it is built. However, when you go to the EU AI Act of 2023, it defines AI as simply a machine output system that is designed by humans, or that thinks like a human being. However, if you think about it this way, take an example. Such a definition can say that every machine that can think like a human is AI, which is false.
Yes.
You get it? It is very, very ambiguous. So such definitions and such issues are what is affecting the definitions of AI and the regulation of AI. However, I've made a research paper that was trying to balance the deontology aspect and the utilitarian aspect, whereby we are seeing the human creativity and the technology or innovation research or background is also balanced in both aspects here. So in my paper, I have defined AI simply as machine learning systems which have the capability of reasoning and acting like a human consciousness. Of course, someone will say that we haven't reached to such an aspect, because AI right now, we are dealing with mostly narrow AI.
Yes, generative AI.
Yes, you guys who are dealing with AI, you know these things much better. So the narrow AI only thinks in regard to whatever you've given it. It doesn't have to think broadly. What do I mean here? If it is generative AI and like ChatGPT, it will give you images, texts. If it is for songs, it will be for songs. But how about AI stuff that we see in movies? Take an example, things like the Terminator. It can move, it can work as security, it can think on its own. You get it? Yes. So it acts like a real human being. We haven't reached that level. So that's why we are failing to regulate AI at such a level. But EU has done a very good job.
Actually, you are talking about your research paper, and in your research paper, you talked about developing and developed countries. So when we come to a scenario of developing country and developed countries, how is the development of artificial intelligence affecting the developing countries and then the developed countries? Because when you look at a scenario, in most of the development of artificial intelligence, most of the machines, most of the robots, most of the softwares are being made from the developed countries. So how is it affecting the developing countries? Because you talked about it in your research when you're elaborating about artificial intelligence affecting the developed and the developing country. So highlight us more about that sector.
Yes. So for the developing countries, this is how it affects it. Remember, when you're training these AIs, at least you need to feed them with a lot of data. You get it? So in most cases, look at ChatGPT. ChatGPT, the way it was fed this data, you can research about it. It was fed in Kenya, which is a developing country. Other systems like Cloud AI and others, India here, plus some few African countries or Caribbean countries. You get it? That you see that when developing such systems, they turn back to us, to the developing countries, such that these systems are more effective and efficient. You get it? But they are not given credit. These people are not given credit. And the evolution that we're heading into, it's more technology based. In Africa, even if you look at our education system, we are so much into the traditional aspect, right? Going into class, sit down, write, pen and paper. Teacher comes with a blackboard, rather a marker or a chalk, and then writes on the blackboard or a green board, whatever it is. You get it? So when you come to these developed countries, you'll see that for them, at least, they are trying to integrate technology into their systems. You'll see that students can use laptops in their classes. There is online classes. There are some classes that are just in a virtual setting. You get it? Such that at least they are trying to incorporate the systems of technology and the future as it is anticipated into the young generations. So developing countries, how does this affect it? That the more we continue to keep ourselves into the traditional settings, the orthodox settings of teaching, that pedagogy, it's going to affect the future generations, right? Kids are going to just think on a narrow aspect that if there is no pen and paper, then I cannot create anything new, right? You look at the graphics classes, graphic designing classes, you'll see that most of them are so much into, yes, it is art, I know, but most of them are so much into a colored pencil or pen and paper, full stop, the traditional setting. You get it? But graphics is now even beyond that. It's now more on computers. Things have shifted.
More using Adobe.
Yes, exactly. We are into the NFT system. That's where money for graphics is, mostly. And for us, we are still stuck into the other backward aspect. I won't say backward, you may excuse me for using such a word, but the perfect word to use is into the traditional setting.
So as a student who is studying law, when you told there's a scenario that happened in US, whereby a student was deported to his country because he was accused of using technology or artificial intelligence during the exam, whereby the student was denying of using the what? And when the student tried to compile you call it what in law? To report. How do you define that? When a student was trying to file a complaint to the court, then the law was telling the student that artificial intelligence has not been proper aligned with the rules and regulations that are governing it. It's still under a view. So the student who is studying law, what do you say about that? Why is artificial intelligence there's no any law that govern it? For example, in case you have been sitting in an automation car and it gets an accident, that there's no anyone to blame in such a scenario. How do you address that?
Yes, you see, not just in law, but in academia, we do have something called plagiarism, right? So plagiarism is merely if someone gets a text as it is or any work, they copy it as it is and then they paste it and then they customize it into their own. You get it? They personalize it. So by that way, that we say that someone has plagiarized, right? So this particular person was being accused of plagiarism using AI. However, if you're to look into the laws that govern plagiarism, up to date, there are very few laws, actually, that say that you should not use generative AI. People have come up to say they are merely speaking. They are merely using their mouth. They are, the regulations that are being raised, they are merely vocal regulations. You get it? Someone just says they are the principal, you shouldn't use AI, you shouldn't use this. But for us in law, we believe in laws that are codified, laws that are written down. Those are the laws that we believe in. So if your law is not codified down, then trust me, it will be hard to say that you should not do that. You get it? So there is another question that you've asked as to why AI is not regulated yet. Like I have said, the first issue is about its dynamic definition and its changing aspect. So the question should be, why should we regulate AI? AI has a very big problem. One, its emerging properties. You get it? The emerging properties, what do I mean by this? What I mean is AI has the capability of teaching itself new stuff. Take an example. ChatGPT was trained in English, and everyone knows that it was English and English alone. But then after some time, when someone input some data into it, like a prompt, it responded into Bengal, which is a language that was not taught into. So this shocked everyone, showing that AI has the capability of training itself new stuff. You get it? Even if someone, because AI has the capability of also training itself based on the prompts of people, their inputs, right? You teach it, you ask it something, then it goes back to its database, it checks it out, it collects or it gathers all the information. You know this word, so we're using the tokens and also the inputs, yes, and everything. So then it analyzes everything. Then it gives you a concrete and well-defined output, right? So how about an AI that has the capability of producing things that have not been taught? It will be very difficult to predict or to prophesize what AI can do and what it cannot do. That's why we are saying regulating it is very hard, because you don't know what it will give you. You get it?
But even when you come to human perspective, even you cannot predict what a human can do.
Exactly.
Then why are you putting laws that are governing humans, and then you cannot put the laws that are governing AI? Because if you're talking about you cannot predict the next, because I am sitting here with you, but the government of USA or the government of India or the government of China cannot predict what you are going to do. You understand?
Yes, yes.
Because before even the coming of OpenAI, even the government of USA didn't predict that. They never knew how that. They just seeing some out man launching the what? The app. Yes. So if there were laws that are governing that you at this state, we must predict this. It must stop on this rate. And the usage of this must be at this. Because right now I am interviewing you, but the government of America has blocked TikTok from functioning. You understand? It means the government has that power to put limit on the use of artificial intelligence. Yes? But then why does the European Union come up with law? The General Assembly, the United Nations, they should come up with laws that are governing that. Because as you said, anything without laws, it's hard to predict. It's under control. So what is your say concerning such sectors?
Yes. So the reason as to why we are regulating, and also first of all I'll give you the reason as to why we should regulate it. Then afterwards I'll give you how it should be regulated. The reason as to why we are regulating it is, first of all, I've told you the emerging properties. They're difficult in predicting what will give outlets. So which creates a problem, or which jeopardizes everything about human integrity. The importance of law is merely to keep the harmony and to keep the harmony in the society, right? So we are seeing a new aspect that can even think beyond the human conscious. You get it? So it threatens the existence of humanity. And human beings, we are so much cautious of anything that threatens our existence. That's why we are saying no. This thing, it will become a problem to us if we don't try to control it. We are not regulating it. Doesn't mean that we are stopping it. No, we're not stopping it. You get it? That's why you're saying that even nuclear weapons, we know that they are very bad. Even weapons themselves, we know that they're very bad. But we have not said that they shouldn't exist. Right?
Yes.
The laws are just controlling how should they be used. That's what the law says. You get it? So back then, as we are trying to think about how to regulate, most people were just saying we should put a ban on AI or ChatGPT. That's where you will see that in some countries, actually it has been banned. You get it? But it shouldn't be about banning these particular systems. It should be about how effectively should we harmonize these systems or incorporate these systems into our own system for effective use. Because AI is good, very good actually. You get it? Credit to Godfrey Hilton. Is it Hilton? Yes, the godfather of AI. Because this was the guy who sat down and was like, no, why shouldn't machines think? Let machines think. And that's why we are enjoying all of this. You get it? So that's why we are calling for all the regulators to, instead of thinking about how to stop AI, they should think about how AI can help us better and much effectively. That's why you're saying that EU Act, AI Act, does not stop the use of AI, but rather what does it do? It controls the effects. It has three major controlling policies. It has the aspect of risk, the high risk, the uncontrollable risk, and the low risks, right? So it depends on the risk of an AI output. That's what we are talking about, the output. That's what we are controlling, the output.
Yes.
Not during the process of making it or innovating, because we want...
Oh yeah. How are you going to provide equality between the developing countries and the developing countries? Because recently, when America was trying to close TikTok, it was most of the American was putting videos saying TikTok belongs to America, we should buy it. So there's that ownership that developed countries are putting. And then there's also, when we talk about some technology, where China is trying to eliminate itself from America, and then it is developing their own system. So how are we going to, because there's a saying that when two lions are fighting, the grass suffers. It's the grass that suffers. So how are we going to have to prevent the grass? Let me say, okay, the grass, all the developing countries, from not being eliminated from such an evolving trustee.
Yes, thank you so much. You know, right now, the war has evolved. Back then, we used to have war of stones. Then we went into the war of spears. Then war of guns. You get it, armed forces. Had that technology war. Rather, economic war, where we are right now at the moment. Small and economic war. Economic war is like a Cold War, which doesn't involve the kinetic use of army forces or guns to kill people, but rather trying to hinder certain economies to develop as you're trying to develop your own economy. That's why you're seeing things of sanctioning. The Trump will come up and then sanction this one, the other will sanction the other, such that they try to put a ban on their tariffs and everything, brother, so on and so forth. You get it? So the issue of TikTok and ownership or the infrastructure over TikTok by US, what they are trying to do, you know, TikTok has been something that has been fundamental into social media. And right now, the ruling aspect in social media, you get it? Everyone is running on social media. However small the aspect is, everyone goes to the social media. Social media right now, it's the number one mainstream media. If you want to get some credible news, not credible per se, but if you want to get some news, you run to social media. Back then, we used to run to stream medias like Al Jazeera. If you come to Uganda, NBS, you get it on newspapers, right? But right now, you rush. What does TikTok have to say about this? What does Instagram have to say about this? Then you get to know what they're talking about it. You get it? Then after you run to YouTube, that's when you run to the streaming media to get the actual news. So, trying to control these social media platforms is me trying to control the narratives. Who owns the story? You get? Because right now the power of controlling some is lazy storytelling. So someone owning the platform where the story is being told is a very, very big reliability for anyone. And so I one of the platforms where storytelling can inject. You get it? One great African leader once said that was the President of Kenya, Mr. William Bugode. Say that he put an unquote here. He said that not until the antelope learns to tell a story, the hunter will always be the hero. They get it? So we shall continue blaming or criticizing the US for what it has done, but later on we shall get to know that actually these people are wise, what they be. Of course, I'm not saying that the total ban was something that was good. I was saying that the people were harvesting so much onto their platforms, especially economic-wise and others. But then I believe there could have been other runners. People were ready to buy TikTok. Mr. Beast was there, ready to buy TikTok. But still due to some politics, or I don't know exactly, I don't want to get into such aspects. But back to the main question about the regulatory AI center. In terms of developing and developed countries, right? How do we produce equality? How we can produce equality? Also, the blockchain. Now we have to talk about the biotechnology system. Technology, not that only. We are talking about the blockchain, talking about the biotechnology, shortages, and so on and so forth, right? So people are over focused on shortages, but there is a bigger view of technology that is evolving. So in Africa, actually, we have one of the best fintech systems that favors equality, and it is hidden because it's in Africa. You get it? What I'm talking about the system of mobile money that developed in Kenya in 2007. Remember, the Great Depression was there in 2008. But as the Great Depression was there, Kenya was developing something to get rid of the unorthodox or the orthodox systems or financial regulations or financial systems. You get it? That's why we are saying mobile, and you don't need a bank account. You get such that you can make these transactions and so on and so forth. No, it's matter of it's more of tokens. That's where the money is. I have my money, I give it to an agent, it turns it into tokens. Then I can transfer that money. Even if I'm in a remote village, even if I'm in Mountain Missouri at the top of the peak, you get it? I can still get the money. And like, see, now the difference is here. The systems that are into these developed countries, we have like a cash pay, yeah. You see me in the bank account, you bet. So if you cannot access a bank, then you cannot access these financial services. But everyone is crazy in such systems. Like e-banks, they are saying that they are the best. You get it? They are seeing them as the most effective and efficient ones, well, and so on and so forth. But it's all because we have failed to tell our own story, and we have failed to learn how to make or to market our own systems. So now that is for the aspect of finance, of biotechnology. You get it? Biotechnology, well, I will say that in biotechnology we are somewhere far back down. We get it, and we still need a lot. We still have a lot to do. And so is the AI. The problem with AI, if I'm to try to compare this to contrasting the two. The problem with AI, we have brains. We get it? The people who helped ChatGPT in training, they are from Kenya. But you get to create a code cell. You get it? The people who help in gathering all the raw materials or all the basics or primary resources for manufacturing an icon or a phone in Congo, the mining sectors, and all the planting, all the farms are there. Then after making all the basics for the hardwares of that iPhone, then they are shifted into the other countries for assembly and so on and so forth. But let's just talk about what. So the role of law here should be about gathering everyone on board. Let's look at EU, or the UN, or the AE. You get it? But rather, we as Africans, we need to find means of trying to cause a pressure onto these people, such that at least they can respect our hard work, our efforts. People in Kenya, we are like very low which is even against the international standards of
We are saying $2 per hour.
something that close. You get? But all this stuff is downplayed simply because it's a backward continent. It's not that they are more skilled or developed than us. No. We have the brains, but we are lacking the confidence
And the resource.
and the resources. The resources would have been there, mind you. But the problem is the confidence into our souls, into you when using those resources. People, it's easy to gather these resources. You get it? And manufacturing everything. How was China developed, or how was China obtained? China, what they did, they send their kids in this developed country, US, the UK, and so on and so forth. Kids learned, they were taught so well, they were so ambitious and enthusiastic. Then they went back to China, they developed their country. That's why you're seeing same applies to India. But once you send an African to a foreign nation, like UK, US or UK,
They will stay there.
they will stay there.
Extension of 2 years.
This because we all want good life.
Yeah, everybody wants good life.
Yeah, but let's build a good life back home.
No, but even local resources. Not even resources. Resources may be there, but platforms. Like you may come with your knowledge, but you're not given platform. All those implement your knowledge.
Yeah, the issue should be about uniting as Africans and then come up with an amicable solution to this issue. Africans will enter in by if you sit down a bunch of Africans and then they start discussing about how to resolve the issue of climate change, trust me, they really have best solutions. But then when it comes to implementation, that's where the problem lies.
We are more into theory.
We are very lazy. We are lazy.
We have content, but they implement in the content.
People will find it much easier to criticize you.
Now, I think the issue is how they teach us.
How you teach us.
Because they have taught us to be more of theoretical rather than practice.
Yeah, that is also. But also, look at this. What is in the text is actually different from what is in context. When you to read books like Pedagogy of the Holocaust by Paul Thier, it tells us that actually the classrooms should reflect what's penny outside. When you look into the education aspect of Africa, now for Uganda, because I am studied in Uganda, so those are the things that I know most. You'll see that we are still studying Canadian failures, New York. Okay, these things might be good, such that we compare, we see how they have developed.
In South Africa.
Plus how we are right now. We bet it. But then the problem is that now these things they have expired. We are beyond that level now. Why is it our education system right now having anything to do with AI? I'm not saying that we should transform everything about the education system. No, but at least let's incorporate the other child. Look at the computer literacy rates of African countries. You get it? It's very low. Very, very low. And it's affecting us very bad because we are not giving credit. You will go home, then you will start recording your TikTok videos, and your mom will basically beat you with a slipper. Why? Because we are seeing no value into these things. Recording TikTok videos, recording it. But in the US, kids are making money out of this thing.
But I think it also comes how we use this technology. Because we, Africa, we're more into entertainment.
Which isn't bad. Is it bad to really?
It's not bad, but also regulating it.
Okay, so it's like this. First of all, when you want to understand yourself, you use a SWOT analysis. You know, the strength, weakness, opportunities, and traits. So we have known ourselves. We love entertainment. And why? It's because we are not experts. Look at the exposed Africans. They obtain something for themselves. You get it? But for us, we are not that much expert. Now, take an example. When I'm given this porn, for the first time, it's my first time seeing the porn. What will I use it? Then I will discover there is a camera. Oh, there's even a camera. I'll take bits of everything, including my
Inner parts.
You get it? It's not like I'm too naive. Okay, I'm naive. Yes, but it's not like I'm stupid. But rather, I'm not just exposed to the system. So every time we let people get exposed to such systems, we shall have them. Then after them getting exposed, then we teach them, we tell them that there's also this. That's the use of now of education. That's where education can be. Now that you've got exposed to a phone, do you know that you can also use that phone for communicating with someone who's very far? They're like, hey, really? Then I will think about more aspects of using a phone. Then I'll be like, why can't we use this phone to buy something? We get it? Then that's why you will see the Amazons coming up, the Flipkart coming up. But because people have been exposed, and now I think of what they have on board, plus the problems that are there, then they are starting to contemplate about how can they use the resources that are available to create new stuff. But for us, all we think about is the white man somewhere would work with that. Let's see, to wait. And another thing, what we think about is our leaders are very bad. They are very corrupt. They are what and what. So let's just sit down and wait for everything. There's someone who always tell me that everything we think of, 100 people already thought about. So I've been wondering if there's 100 people who have already thought about what I've things about, then that I even lose the morale. And my friend, don't lose morale. And that, this word is survival for the fittest. Even if I'm thinking about making this phone and you think about it, who will produce it first? Yes, that's the question. So someone maybe I think it when he's already having the resources. Even if they have the resources, maybe my idea is a bit better than his. They could be having an idea of producing a phone better, a keypad phone. And your idea is actually a bracelet phone. With their old phones, is it? But yours is, your idea is better. It's good. You get, so now how does the law come in? This aspect. That's what I about. Yes. So the law is merely, before even heading to there, let us look at the best objective of law. The best objective of law is to keep harmony and to make sure that society grows and develops. Yes. So we are regulating the use of such technologies for the betterment of society. We are not hindering, like I said before, we are not hindering the use of them. We are not saying that no, don't create autonomous reports. You get it? Create it. We just start with the government. Let us show you how we can use it effectively. You get? And once all countries come together, we then find possible, which isn't possible. Oh, okay, it can be possible to certain extent because we have seen the EU coming up. We have seen people, countries coming up after COVID. You get it? Although then after discovering of the vaccine, then we had some issues about how it should be distributed here and there, who has the copyrights and so on and so forth. But the issue is, back then we had COVID, but now we have AI. Is how can we make AI effective to our music as human beings? And that person can be answered only if they come up together. Because even if the EU has developed its acts, you get it? We cannot all copy that act. The EU has put strict regulation on cameras that can detect biometrics. But the same system, it has these cameras into the EU parliaments and offices whereby once you enter, they note you, they report you and say, okay, this one has entered. You get it? Just by vision. Yes. The camera is very far there, but it can detect you. Isn't it? But they have put restriction on such gadgets, on such systems. You get it? So it gives you a bit of a controversy. Then you wonder which is which. The one who are enforcing the law or the one who are breaking it. And they will also tell you that this is for our own benefit because you're not setting the matter. So for us, we have just put this restriction. We are just using that. Yes. On whoever who will sell the data to people we don't know. That's why they have also put a ban on TikTok. Because they believe TikTok is selling the data to other companies for their own personal usage. Then they were saying that the most complaint there, like TikTok is being spread all over different countries. But in China itself, there's no TikTok. In China, they don't use TikTok. In Russia, they don't use TikTok. Now also in India, they banned TikTok. Actually, in China, there is TikTok, but in another family. Yeah, that's it. That's the worry. Yes, in TikTok, yes, there is ByteDance. ByteDance is the parent company for Twitter. There you are. So there is ByteDance, but ByteDance has tried to build TikTok versions that are different from what we have internationally. Why? Because they also believe that TikTok can be used to sell data to other companies in other countries. So it's a blame game. It's about what about is it? This one is blaming the other is play. So we end up having TikTok that is abolished. What do we end up with? You'll see that different countries will now be having different social media platforms. They are going. TikTok was uniting the entire globe. You get it? It was uniting a person from South Africa, a person from Congo, a person from US, a person from Japan, all of them on the same platform, and all of us enjoying everything. You get to know that, hey, so this one also happened there. The other also happens there. Oh, that's good to know. You get it. At least you don't have to travel around to know what's happening there yourself. You can easily know about to from wherever in the area.
Yes. So we've been talking about developed and developing countries. Remember, you were telling me. So I was which rule that can bring equality or equality cannot be established, because we saw the formation of BRIC. BRIC has been formed, but as BRIC has been formed, China does not collaborate in the India. Yet they formed BRIC for business sector. So can there be a law that can be a force where countries can be united for the world use of technology?
Well, that's a very subjective question. Subjective, what do I mean? It will depend on the political climate.
Yes.
That would be there by there. But considering the diverging opinions we have on board about AI and its usage, because when even China has built its own ChatGPT, the DeepSeek, it's actually more stronger than GPT. Americans are saying GPT is ours. GPT has been banned somewhere else. They are saying that no, GPT told you say that it was once banned in Kenya, but I'm hearing that there are some development here, so we're doing it back. Yes. But then when you come back to our African countries, for us we welcome the kingdom. They had no issue with it, which would have been good if we are using them effectively. But probably you are just merely using them.
We're just users. We're glad.
Exactly. You get it? So, uniting the entire block together to form up a regulation, it will be subjective, it will depend on new way, but it will be a very, very good idea if we unite. Because we united about COVID and regulating people
and overcame
it, right? We united during World War II, World War I, and you see the results. So why not here? The European Union has come up with that of 2023. Even the United Nations has also formed that. Not an but rather like a guiding paper. You get it? The guiding paper is merely guidance. They just direct you people how they can work with AI and so on. But they are not that strict. They are not strict. Tell some of them. No, it's 2 years. No, they'll get the X, which makes it very weak. Implements, but if it have been also a very, very good ND. So my call is for the regional rounds, because regulating AI has all of us. It will be something that will be very hard because we have the friend that they carry go. But so what we can do, African can come up with the owners. So we understand your coaching legal. Asia, come up with, we get it. Caribbean, Oceania, Australia, like he does that. We get by that we shall find many foolish Egypt.
So is a person there studying law should come and have a look at your research paper.
Yes, thank you so much. Well, my recent paper is about the ontology versus the libertarians. It's a conundrum in copyright regulation and NDI there. So why did I call it a conundrum? We are looking at aspects whereby most laws that are coming up to regulate copyright in AI, mostly the generative AI, are basing on a human-centric approach, which I'm not saying that it was bad, but all I was saying is that at least we need to balance between the
promotion of innovation, plus also even as the creators themselves. So this is what my paper basically calls for. The ontology, in simple terms, the ontology means that if I'm someone like a leader and I have maybe some food, the question should be about how should I distribute food to the natives. And so the situation here is this food is scarce. And the only food that's present in the area is the one that I have. So I can either give it to the general population and I miss out, or I feed it myself and then I eat and then to the general population. So the ontology just says, just leave it to yourself. Be selfish. Somehow, somewhere. Because it also has its own arguments. It says that once you keep yourself alive, then it helps also others to be alive. Yeah, because you help in better thinking and all and so on and so forth as a leader. But then on the other spectrum, utilitarians, it says that just give it up to the masses. You get it? It's better sacrifice yourself. Charlie. Yes. It's better sacrifice yourself than living by the masses. Leave it to the masses. So we are balancing the two. Instead of focusing on one aspect, which is focusing on everyone, the masses, and I leave myself out. Right now, when you do the something using ChatGPT, you get a bit. You get it? But how about the engineers for ChatGPT? How about the researchers for ChatGPT? How about the data or the producers of the data that was used to feed their ChatGPT? There are so many cases right now that are on board that are getting ChatGPT for people who are alleging that ChatGPT used to miss data, like research papers, songs and so poems, movies and so on and so forth, to feed GPT in the big.
Yep, there's a rule that says once you publish some, it's not copyrighted, it is free to use the paper.
Yeah, of course. But then there was also an exception that says, that if it's for research purposes, so that you build it. So here we can just hit it out for the sake of research purposes and development. The new ask that we have on board that is going to give up all of that. Hope that answers it.
So, thank you very much. We are so honored to invite a council and their place. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Remember, sharing is caring. Once you share to someone, you are learning. And if you have any suggestion, don't forget to leave them in the comment section for us to learn and engage in most of the things that are around us. So, before we conclude, can you tell me any AI that has done anything creative or any creative thing that AI has done? Before we conclude, tell me any example of anything creative AI has done. And that we should be our catch-up point for the next session.
Yeah, generative AI.
Yes,
in generative AI, you have autonomous cars like Tesla that can drive its own. That is very creative. A car that can move itself without any human intervention. Another, we have for generative AI, we have things like Suno AI. Suno AI can produce music with beats in it, with lyrics and a singer. That's very creative. We have Dell AI, which can produce images. We have Google Veil that can produce videos, short videos, and so on and so forth.
And do you think AI is going to replace lawyers?
No. I don't think AI is going to replace anyone. We just need to be creative.
Actually, recently, there was a competition between ChatGPT and a lawyer. And ChatGPT won. What do you say about that?
Yes, ChatGPT won, but doesn't mean that
it had facts and relevance and examples of virtual reality. A human being cannot produce that.
No. It doesn't mean that one lawyer. He just won that person, not lawyer.
The person was a lawyer.
Of course, but did he represent everyone?
He was representing lawyers.
Oh, consented people. I don't remember giving him consent to represent people.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. But merely what we are saying is that there are some other aspects where ChatGPT can fit. You will see that when you try to research about a case law, ChatGPT will merely give you the abstract aspect of the case law. But it won't get too deep into details, and that's where we come in. Negative that at least we can try to analyze and we try to compare everything. By the time we give you a report, it's concrete. You get ChatGPT can't do that. It will give you yes a case no, even if it exists, but it will fail to point out exactly where it has picked out that provision. I've said this so many times because myself at times I use that GPT to research, make my research. Yes. Okay. Till next time, thank you very much for joining AI in White Coats next time for more video. Don't forget to click that notification bell for more video. Till next time, see you.